They say that when the wind pauses before dawn, just for a breath, the world is listening. It was during such a pause that Abeni first heard the antelope speak. Not with words the way people use them, sharp and loud and full of demands, but with meaning that slid straight into her chest, warm and aching, like memory. "Run," the antelope said. Abeni froze, her bare feet sunk into the cool red earth. The morning mist clung to her calves as the tall grass trembled. From far behind her came the low thud of men's footsteps and the metallic cough of a spear striking stone. The antelope's eyes locked with hers, dark, wet, frightened, yet ancient. "Run," it said again, and this time Abeni understood not just the sound, but the fear, the urgency, the knowledge of death that animals carry the way humans carry names. She stepped aside. The antelope bolted past her, leaping into the brush. A heartbeat later, 3 hunters burst through the grass. "Girl." One of them barked. "Which way did it go?" Abeni opened her mouth. And for the first time in her life, she chose silence. Abeni was born in the village of Olowo, where the river bent like an elbow and the forest began without asking permission. The elders said she arrived on a night when the owls argued with the frogs and the moon hid behind clouds, ashamed of something it had seen. From the beginning, she was different. As a baby, she did not cry when goats bleated nearby. She laughed. When chickens flapped too close, she reached for them, calm as if greeting old friends. Dogs did not bark at her. Snakes slid away rather than strike. Her mother, Sod, noticed first. "This child listens too much," she said one evening, watching Abeni sit motionless as termites swarmed their mound. "She listens to things that are not speaking." Her father only shrugged. Listening is not a crime. But the elders were less easy. In Olowo, the world was divided clearly, humans on one side, nature on the other. The forest was a place of medicine and danger, food and punishment. Animals were hunted. Trees were cut. Rivers were used. Balance existed, but it was fragile, and it was maintained by rules, not feelings. Abeni grew up learning the rules. She fetched water. She pounded yam. She greeted elders properly and lowered her eyes when she spoke. Yet all the while, the other world spoke to her. The birds warned her of storms before clouds gathered. The lizards told her where the sun would be hottest. The river whispered when its current was angry and when it was kind. She never told anyone. Not because she was afraid, but because she knew, deep in her bones, that some bridges collapse when too many feet try to cross them. The year Abeni turned 16, the rains failed. At first, the elders said it was nothing. The sky is only resting. But weeks passed. The river shrank, its wide laughter reduced to a tired murmur. Crops curled in on themselves. Goats grew thin. Children's bellies swelled with emptiness. Hunger changes people. The hunters began to enter the forest more often, staying longer, taking more. Traps appeared where none had been before. Even the sacred groves, places once left untouched, felt the bite of blades. The animals noticed. They came to Abeni in whispers and glances. The monkeys argued loudly in the trees. The elephants rumbled warnings through the ground that made her feet ache at night. "You are breaking the old agreements," the tortoise told her one dusk, his shell scarred with age. "Agreements older than your father's fathers." "What agreements?" Abeni asked. "That you take only what you need. That you ask before you cut. That you leave room for tomorrow." Abeni swallowed. My people are hungry. So are we, said the tortoise. The day she let the antelope go, the village buzzed with anger. "She misled us," one hunter spat. "That animal was ours." Another sneered, "She's always been strange. Too close to the bush." Abeni stood before the elders, her heart pounding like a drum played badly. "Did you see which way the antelope ran?" the chief asked. That night, Abeni did something she had never done before. She went into the forest openly. Not sneaking. Not hiding. She walked to the old baobab where the roots rose like frozen serpents and placed her hands on its bark. I cannot stand between two hungers alone, she said. If there is a way, show me. The forest answered, not with thunder, not with magic light, but with work. The bees showed her where wild honey still thrived without destroying hives. The porcupine led her to tubers that regrew when harvested carefully. The birds revealed seeds that flourished even in poor rain if planted together. She learned where to hunt less, and where to gather more. She learned seasons the village had forgotten. She learned restraint. At dawn, she returned. The elders listened this time, not because they believed her, but because desperation makes room for unlikely teachers. They tried her ways. Slowly, the land breathed again. Not everyone was pleased. Some hunters resented limits. Some mocked her rules. One night, traps were set deep in the forbidden grove. The forest reacted. A fire broke out, not wild, but precise. It burned the traps and nothing else. Snakes flooded the paths leading to the grove, turning men back without biting. Fear spread faster than wisdom ever had. This girl brings curses, people whispered. Abeni stood before the chief again. I do not command the forest, she said softly. I listen to it. Just as you once listened to the elders before you. The chief studied her long. Finally, he nodded. Then teach us to listen. Years passed. Olowo did not become rich. It became balanced. Children learned which trees could be cut and which must never be touched. Hunters learned to read signs, not just tracks. The river returned, not wide, but steady. And Abeni. She never claimed a title. She married late, if at all. She spent her days walking between village and forest, her presence a reminder that the line between human and nature is not a wall, but a conversation. When she died, they buried her where the grass met the trees. They say animals still gather there. And they say that if you walk quietly at dawn, when the wind pauses, you might hear the word speaking, waiting for someone wise enough to listen. And that is why the elders say, nature does not need a voice. It needs respect.
Thanks for watching. Follow me on IG at input_media and Facebook at Loaded Abiomi Oguntate for more content. Hit subscribe and the bell on YouTube for updates.